From big-name sequels to experimental indie shooters to tactical spin-offs and more. February has quite the lineup of shooter games again, so in this video I'm going over 6 new releases that you shouldn't miss and that are definitely worth checking out. And we get right in on February 3rd with Aces of Thunder, a World War II air combat game from Gaijin Entertainment, the developers of War Thunder. But this time around the game has a much stronger focus on cinematic dogfighting and immersion, because you cannot only play it in standard mode in first-person perspective, but you can also play it in VR. It is fully optional though, but if you do have a headset, this is clearly one of the experiences you shouldn't miss. You will be flying iconic World War II aircraft with full cockpit detail, realistic flight models, and a heavy emphasis on situational awareness rather than an arcade-style chaos. And Aces of Thunder is also not trying to replace War Thunder, instead it's more focused on the feeling of being in the cockpit, especially during high-stress dogfights. So if you're into flight combat, military aviation, or just want a shooter that feels genuinely different from boots on the ground FPS games, this is a really strong start into February. Next up we have PUBG BLINDSPOT, a completely new approach within the PUBG universe, but also a new approach to tactical shooter games in general. It shifts the franchise away from Battle Royale and into something that feels closer to games like Rainbow Six Siege, but from an overhead perspective. You need to communicate with your squad, know and play your class's abilities, attack or defend the objective, and most importantly, always find the right camera angle to see what's going on around you or behind the next corner. And this top-down perspective and the differences and gameplay mechanics that come with a shifted angle make this game feel really fresh and interesting. This is clearly PUBG experimenting with its brand, and honestly it looks incredibly good. If close combat tactical shooter games are your kind of thing and you like the tense engagements, good planning and solid gunplay, then BLINDSPOT might be worth a try. Definitely doesn't look like your usual tactical shooter. Moving on, we have a game that is a little bit more weird, but in the best possible way. Crisol Theater of Idols is a first-person horror shooter set in a twisted, surreal version of Spain. It blends psychological horror with intense gunplay, but the standout mechanic of this game is surely that your ammunition is your blood. Every shot you fire literally costs you health and forces you to constantly balance aggression and survival. It creates a really uncomfortable and tense rhythm where shooting never feels free or safe, but I think that perfectly fits the horror tone of the game. Visually it's striking, unsettling and very much doing its own thing, and with a demo already available you can get a feel for whether that unique resource system clicks with you or not. But if you like shooters that experiment with mechanics and atmosphere like Metro, BioShock or Scorn, then Crisol should absolutely be on your radar as well. Up next, there is High on Life 2, the second title of the absurd comedic shooter series with talking guns, ridiculous alien worlds, and a humor that is definitely not for everyone, but absolutely lands if it clicks with you. This time, an intergalactic conspiracy threatens the fate of humanity again, and this means that you and your team of alien misfits need to shoot, stab, and skate your way through gorgeous, dangerous worlds all across the galaxy. The skateboard is new this time around as well and allows you to add even more style to your gameplay, and the gunplay is also more refined with improved movement, more weapon variety, and environments that feel larger and more open compared to the first title. It's also launching day one on Game Pass, and it's available on basically every platform including the new Switch. If you enjoyed the first game's humor and want a shooter that doesn't take itself seriously for even a second, then High on Life 2 is one to watch. Then there is a game that flies a bit under the radar but actually looks really promising, and that's Aerial Knight's DropShot. It's a stylized high-speed third-person shooter with a heavy emphasis on movement, flow and a strong visual identity. You jump out of an aircraft and race down to the ground against 4 other players, and whoever reaches the ground first survives. Your main weapon of choice are bullets you can fire from your finger gun to eliminate your opponents or any other threats coming your way. It's fast-paced, colorful and creative, and definitely a very different experience from the other games on this list. And lastly, there is Resident Evil Requiem, the next major entry in the Resident Evil franchise that once again blends survival horror with modern shooter mechanics. The franchise has always been delivering an amazing horror experience over the years, and so far it looks like the new title is about to continue this with an even darker tone, heavier atmosphere and a renewed focus on tension. You play as FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft and legendary agent Leon Kennedy and return once again to Raccoon City, the headquarters of the former Umbrella Company and a location of disaster and despair, to find out what has caused the most recent deaths in the region. Requiem also features the series' classic survival horror elements when it comes to combat, investigations, puzzles and resource management, and will be the perfect finale to this month. So if you're into horror shooters where ammo is scarce and every encounter is designed to make you uncomfortable, then you're right at home in Resident Evil Requiem. And that was it for today. 6 upcoming shooter games you should not miss in February. Tell me which ones you are looking forward to and if I forgot any game on this list. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.